Right now, somewhere beneath the sea, sailors are breathing air manufactured from seawater. They haven't seen sunlight in 40 days. Inside the steel hull, 130 men move through passageways barely wide enough for two people to pass. The ocean presses down with millions of pounds of force, while machines control the rhythm of life. Fresh air never enters these compartments. There are no phone calls home. Every drop of water these sailors drink comes from the same ocean trying to crush them. But what happens to the human body when it's sealed away from everything natural for months? When a submarine slips beneath the waves and vanishes from the surface, something fundamental changes for everyone aboard. The crew enters a state of absolute isolation that most people couldn't imagine surviving. There's no popping up for fresh air when things get claustrophobic. There's no emergency call home when personal problems surface. Communication with the outside world shrinks to brief, encrypted messages that reveal almost nothing about where they are or what they're doing. And here's the part that makes it even harder. Mission timelines shift constantly, based on intelligence reports and strategic priorities that the crew never fully knows about. A patrol scheduled for 60 days can easily stretch to 90 days or longer without warning. The sailors don't get a vote. They simply adapt and continue, knowing that surfacing early could compromise years of intelligence gathering. This uncertainty creates a psychological weight that builds slowly, day after day. The conditions aboard become permanently fixed in ways that defy how humans evolved. No sunlight penetrates the pressure hull. The air smells metallic and recycled because it comes from machines, not wind. Sleep cycles fracture within the first week. Some sailors report losing track completely of what day it is after just 15 days submerged. The submarine becomes their entire universe. A narrow world of steel compartments, machinery noise, and artificial lighting that never truly mimics daylight. Can the human mind adapt to this severed connection from the natural world, or does something permanent shift inside submariners who live this way, patrol after patrol? Breathing 400 feet underwater depends entirely on machines working perfectly. Submarines produce oxygen through electrolysis systems that split water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen gas. These units run continuously, feeding breathable oxygen into ventilation systems, while carbon dioxide scrubbers pull CO2 from the air. Atmospheric monitoring stations track oxygen and carbon dioxide levels every hour. Freshwater production happens through reverse osmosis systems that strip salt from seawater. A typical fast-attack submarine generates up to 10,000 gallons per day. That water must supply drinking, cooking, reactor cooling, steam generation, and extremely limited personal hygiene for more than 130 sailors. Here's the part that intensifies the pressure. These life support systems require constant human supervision. Sailors monitor equipment readings, replace filters, and troubleshoot malfunctions during every watch. A single failure could force an emergency surface, ending the mission and potentially exposing the submarine's position. The technology keeps them alive, but only if sailors maintain it flawlessly through exhaustion and monotony. If you're proud of American innovation like this, write "proud" in the comments. That same relentless demand for vigilance extends to every aspect of submarine life, starting with where sailors rest. Space aboard a submarine exists for one reason: mission capability. Designers prioritized weapon systems and propulsion machinery. Crew comfort didn't make the list. Berthing compartments stack sleeping racks 3 levels high, with roughly 18 inches between each bunk. On many submarines, there aren't enough racks for every sailor, forcing a practice called hot bunking. When one sailor finishes their watch, they climb into a bunk still warm from the person who just left. Same sheets, same pillow. Watch schedules control when submariners sleep, overriding normal human biology. For decades, submarines operated on grueling 18-hour cycles that destroyed natural sleep patterns. Modern boats now align to 24-hour days, divided into 3 8-hour shifts, but the challenge remains brutal. Sailors stand watch for 8 hours, handle maintenance and qualifications for another block, then get limited time for sleep before the cycle repeats. Even with this improvement, sleep quality suffers dramatically. Sleep disruption comes from everywhere. Machinery hums constantly. Announcements crackle over the intercom. Other sailors work just feet away. Red lighting during tactical operations confuses the brain even further. Personal storage consists of one small locker and a single sea bag. Everything for 3 months must fit in that space. Privacy vanishes behind a thin curtain on the sleeping rack. Those two items define the full extent of personal space a submariner claims. Food planning begins weeks before the boat leaves port. Supply specialists account for every item needed across the entire deployment. Fresh produce gets loaded first, stacked in every available space. That fresh food lasts maybe 2 weeks. After that, meals shift to frozen meat, canned vegetables, and dried goods. The galley operates around the clock, serving 4 meals per day to accommodate different watch rotations. Variety drops significantly as patrols extend. Still, submariners claim their food quality surpasses any other Navy platform. When sailors are stripped of almost every comfort, a good meal becomes one of the few genuine pleasures available. Hygiene standards stay rigid despite scarce resources. Sailors must shave regularly and maintain cleanliness to prevent illness in tight quarters. Showers are limited to 3 minutes or less. The technique is simple. Get wet, shut off the water, soap up, then rinse quickly. Here's where it gets interesting. Morale maintenance relies on small traditions that break the relentless sameness. Some boats hold steel beach picnics. Movie nights rotate through a limited film library. Birthday celebrations happen with fresh-baked cakes. These moments might seem trivial, but they provide critical psychological relief. Without them, isolation hardens into something dangerous. How do sailors maintain mental sharpness when every day looks identical to the 100 before it? Submarine service starts at the Naval Submarine School in Groton, Connecticut. There, candidates learn submarine systems, emergency procedures, and damage control. Training includes pressurized escape simulations in a 37-foot water column, firefighting in smoke-filled compartments, and flooding response drills. Only those who pass earn the right to serve on submarines. Once aboard, each crew member must earn their submarine warfare insignia, the coveted dolphins. This qualification demands mastering every major system on the submarine, not just the sailor's assigned job. It requires drawing system diagrams from memory and demonstrating hands-on competence across multiple departments. The process typically takes 12 to 18 months of intensive study before a sailor finally pins on those dolphins. The reason for this extreme standard becomes clear when you consider the risks. Fire aboard a submerged vessel turns catastrophic within minutes. Flooding from hull breaches can sink a submarine before damage control teams isolate the leak. System failures can trap an entire crew underwater with no outside rescue. Every sailor must know how to operate emergency systems, seal flooding, and fight fires. Cross-training isn't suggested. It's survival doctrine. Mental strain builds from isolation, sleep disruption, and complete separation from family. Submariners miss births, weddings, and holidays without warning. The pressure to perform flawlessly while exhausted creates stress few civilian jobs could match. So what holds the crew together? Discipline creates structure. Leadership provides clear chains of command, but trust becomes the foundation. Mission success and survival depend on each sailor executing their responsibilities correctly. Shared hardship forges connections beyond normal friendship. It's brotherhood built on mutual dependence, where individual mistakes can kill everyone aboard. Life aboard a submarine is defined by human endurance and the body's ability to adapt to conditions we were never designed to experience. Submariners sacrifice comfort, privacy, and connection to complete missions most civilians will never know occurred. These sailors operate in darkness and isolation, maintaining combat readiness while the world above remains unaware. The commitment required to live this way, patrol after patrol, reveals sailors who accept the hardest conditions because the mission demands nothing less.